Look at that. Got errors happening already. Looky there. We'll just switch to this really quick and pretend like it didn't happen. No, we needed it to happen that way. In fact, I'm going to go back and I'm going to run it just one more time. Just like that. Because that's what I need to do for now. Yeah. So, how's everybody going? How's everybody doing? Chris Wedgeworth, Okie Tom. Mr. Diaz, Geo1, Drift Craze 2, RC, I can't read it. It's too far away. I don't have my old man glasses on. Need to get that chat a little closer to me, I guess. Everybody over in Highway 49 RC chat, let me know. Somebody give me a thumbs up if you can hear the audio. Erica, can you hear the audio okay? Is everything working like it's supposed to over there on your channel? Hey, everybody, we are simulcasting tonight with our special guest. Special guest turned co-host for the evening because Mr. Mendenhall, the grumpy blogger, isn't going to make it. So, as promised a couple of weeks ago and reminded last week, I've got a special guest for tonight's show. Somebody in the RC car world, big into the RC car world, lots of followers, great YouTube channel. Everything is crazy on her end. She's, hey, I gave it away, guys. You guys are gonna like her, and I don't know why this transition is happening that way. Oh, and now I do because it was stuck. Caught you, Erica. How you doing?
Hey, how's it going?
Going good. I presume that everybody can see. Audio sounds good here. Okay, thank you very much. Aardvark. All right, cool. Aardvark spleen, is that what that said? Wow.
Yeah. Well done.
Broadcasting live, simulcasting on 2 channels at once. And I'm going to go ahead and run this intro by one more time. Yeah, Highway 49 RC. Erica, hello. Welcome to the show.
Hello. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah. Thanks for taking time out of your busy crawling schedule and everything you do to make this all come together for us.
Oh, absolutely. This has been super exciting. A little nerve-wracking there at the end, but
at the beginning,
got it going.
Yep. Yeah, and I see everything's working the way you had hoped it would work. Now, did the browser change fix it, or did it work in Chrome?
Yeah, browser change fixed it.
Okay, cool. I kind of thought it might, but
yeah.
Yeah, there's an old rule in that stuff. You know, when all else fails, change your underwear. Yeah. Anyway, what in the world is going on with my phone? It's going nuts. I'm getting text messages, and that's my brother, so he's just going to have to tune in and watch. And, you know, everything that we talked about, and I said, don't forget to change your stream setup from private to public, remember? Mm-hmm. Well, guess what I didn't do? Till about halfway through my 5-minute timer, I forgot to change it to public. That's right. So, yeah, so the standard notifications didn't happen on my side, so my apologies to everybody for that. How many people are watching on your end? How many viewers you got on your stream right now?
I'm not sure. I don't.
Oh, you don't have that window open. Okay.
Yeah, I don't have a way to see, which is a bummer. But
okay, yeah, because you don't have that window up. Okay, sorry about that. In your chat, it looks like I don't know if I'll be able to see participants. Yeah, I will. Maybe I will. Maybe I won't. Maybe I just goofed up and got rid of your chat. Man, I hope not. Because that would really suck. Because I was kind of tuning into that. Going to start out with saying hello to everybody. Chris Wedgeworth on the 400 AGL side was the first one in. Okie Tom, Robert Glazer, JSK, thank you. Grant Hello there. Nuno Diaz? It's okay. All right. You're on my channel too. Cool. Um, Robert Glazer, Backwoods Droner, my little brother. Ken, I saw your text message, but I'm not going to fuss with it. I'm guessing you were asking if I was going live tonight, since how it didn't strike up at 6 o'clock like it normally does. Yeah, Steve Carpenter, hello. Broadcasting on 2 channels tonight, guys. Highway 49 RC, and of course this one here, 400 AGL. And I totally blew out that chat. Now I got to try to find the channel again, and oh my goodness, this is going to get ugly because I don't know what's going to happen when I start pushing all these buttons.
I was able to get it to see my viewer count. I've got 13 watching right now.
Okay, cool. So I'm going to try this. I'm going to click that and bring that back down here and slide it back over there, because I want to be able to look at that and then click on this and pop out the live chat. Yeah, that's what I want to do over there. I can make this all happen. I really can. Sometimes it tests my abilities, but you know, yeah, we'll get her done. Yeah, I'm seeing 10 on your channel right now. That's what it looks like anyway. And
Yep.
only 11 on mine, so it's coming slow. It's happening.
It usually picks up after a little bit.
Yeah, once people start realizing what's going on. And hello, Dre, Recovery One. Glad to see you made it. Maddie, welcome. King of Country. A lot of people crossing over. That's cool. I invite everyone to cross over to Highway 49 RC as well, and give Erica some watch time on her live stream, since she's gracious enough to allow us to live stream to her channel as well at the same time, everybody. So, Erica, most of my people are drone people, RC airplane, radio controlled aircraft of some sort or another. Mostly drone stuff, as you can see. Hello, Lon. But most of your people are representative of what you've got sitting on the tables behind you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kent says he can't hear me, so is my audio going out to... Let me check this. Okay, I know it's going out on hers, and I don't have it up on mine, so I'm guessing, brother, if you can't hear me, there's something you've got to do about that on your end, because you're the only one that says you can't hear me. Mr. J, welcome. Good evening. One Vision. And Tammy, hello, you can hear me perfect. Okay, so my audio's working good. Audio good on your YouTube. Thank you, Steve. All right, perfect. Yeah, Kent. That's something on your end there, buddy. Hopefully I didn't just lose Erica, though. You still there?
I'm still here.
Okay, perfect. Awesome. Just wanted to make sure of that.
Yep.
So, how long have you been into RC stuff in general?
A long time.
Okay, now wait.
So-
Wait. I'm more than 3 times your age, okay? So long time doesn't get it, girl.
Okay, a long time for me. So, I got my first hobby grade RC 10 years ago now, and then I had toy grade RCs, a year or two before that. So, total in the, the hobby grade world would be about 10 years. Yeah.
Okay, and what got you started in it? The toy one? Somebody got you a toy, or you picked it up yourself, or what happened?
Yeah, so, a lot of kids my age at that time were getting, Target RC cars for Christmas and whatnot, and I got one, and I loved the thing, was super sad when it broke, and I told my dad, I was like, you know what, someday I'm going to build one of these, and come next birthday or Christmas, I can't recall, he got me my first RC, which was a Tamiya Dual Hunter kit. And
Okay.
hence I got to build an RC car just like I wanted to.
Okay. Yeah. So, yeah, because back then they didn't have well, I don't know about 10 years ago, but I know when I started, there was no such thing as ready to run. You bought an RC car, it was a box of parts and you had to put it together. So,
Right.
I don't know when you started. I don't know if they had ready to run, ready to go stuff, or was it still kit form?
Yeah, my dad got me a kit because, I had said that I wanted to build one and definitely would not have changed that in any way, shape, or form for sure.
Right.
But there were definitely a lot of ready to runs out there at that time. Traxxas was really the main one. Those were still the early days of Traxxas, but, well, not really early days, but
Earlier than now, yeah, for sure.
earlier than now, yeah. HPI, Team Associated, a lot of the names have been around in racing for, since the 80s and 90s. Were the main ones, but so there were plenty of ready to runs, but it was mainly just because I wanted to build something.
And so,
And then
go ahead.
my next RC was actually a Traxxas ready to run, because I saw it in a catalog and I was like, I need to get that. So I saved up for almost 2 years and went to the hobby shop and got it. It was very rewarding.
Yeah, so you
Very,
saved
very
up for 2
rewarding.
year and they had 3 more models out before.
Yeah, actually, that's about how it worked.
Yep. So you've not really done much with anything air. All of your stuff is pretty much ground, right? Terrestrial stuff.
Yeah, my dad is into helicopters a little bit. He enjoys the terrestrial vehicles as well, but he's also been into helicopters somewhat. And so I've done a bit of helicopter flying, just the little ones, the little Blade. Oh gosh, I don't even remember what the model is, but the little Blade helis.
Right.
So
Hello,
I've done
Kai,
a little
Lone
bit of
Star.
that.
Cool. So you built your first one,
Yep.
and was that like a stadium truck, an off-road buggy? What was that? Do you remember?
It was, it was a stadium truck, pretty much.
Yeah.
Off-road
Okay.
stadium truck.
Right. And did you do any racing off-road dirt and stuff with it, or
No,
just
I never
kind
did
of
any
just
racing with
thrashing it
it.
around? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I was 8, so it was mainly just running it in the backyard, or I'd take it to the local park and mess around with it and whatnot.
Right. What did your friends think about this RC car stuff?
They all thought it was cool because actually, so the car that broke and that after which I said I wanted to build one, I had taken that one in for show and tell and told my class that I wanted to build one. And then, like, throughout the year, you get a couple chances to do show and tell. And so then
Sure.
closer to the end of the year, I brought in the one that I had built to show the class and got to run it outside and in the class and stuff. And it was cool. Everyone thought it was super neat.
Right. So you go from that to actually like going nuts and building like really crazy stuff, like building frames and building wheels and building and creating and making just pretty much anything you want to make, right? I mean, literally anything you want to make. So
Yeah.
So now you're this budding young human being that has so many talents, which is what drew me to your channel. When I saw you and I thought, okay, so this is a kid, to me, okay, I got to say it, honestly. This kid using a freaking lathe, and it's a girl, no less. Not that it's, I'm not trying to be sexist, but it just really surprised me that such a young female human being would be doing the things that you're doing with a lathe. So kind of introduce us into how you got started doing that kind of stuff instead of laying at the beach or something. You know what I mean? Because, like, that's what I remember high school. And, yeah, I know. I can still remember some things, guys. Carpenter, you don't need to go there, okay, Steve? Just hush. So all the kids my age were, like, going to the beach and learning to surf and body surf, and the girls were all tanning in their bikinis on the beach and, you know, la-di-da-di-da-di-da. But Erica is running a metal lathe and tearing the suspension out of a Jeep Grand Cherokee, is it? Or
it's Cherokee? Just a normal Cherokee.
Okay. So, yeah. So how did we end up, instead of being at the beach with the girlfriends, to turning wrenches?
Oh man, that's quite a question. So I mean, I think it definitely all started with my dad, as a hobby, enjoys woodworking, and so ever since I was little, you know, we had a wood shop in our garage. So, you know, we got the table saw and the bandsaw and the planer and all that stuff. And so I grew up around building stuff and helping my dad in the garage, you know, even if it was just pounding nails into my workbench that he had built me, or, you know, spilling all the nails all over the floor and him getting mad at me. You know, I was always around that. In fact, when we had come home one time and I saw our neighbor pull his car into the garage, and I was flabbergasted. I was like 3. I was flabbergasted, and I was like, "Look, Mom, Mr. So-and-so just pulled his car into his garage." Like, I was so shocked that someone actually put their car in the garage and not tools and stuff. And so growing up around that...
Yeah, because your garage had other stuff in it, right? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So it was mainly just growing up around it, and then, you know, over time... You know, first I wanted to build a bookshelf for my room out of scrap wood, and then it moved on to a loft bed and a desk, and, you know, eventually it all started with woodworking for me, because that's what my dad did for the most part as a hobby, and so I picked that up as a hobby. Then my dad he ended up taking some welding classes at a community college nearby, and... You know, I thought that was, like, the coolest thing ever, because to a 9-year-old, you know, melting metal's pretty cool.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, because, you know, metal is, like, this super hard, strong thing to a 9-year-old, and it just seems like it's you can't break it or do anything to it.
Right.
But to be able to melt it is super cool.
Right.
And so I kind of took interest in that real early on when I was 9 or 10. Or no, maybe it was, see, I can't remember. But early on for sure. And he tried to teach me to stick weld and oxyacetylene weld when I was 8 or 9, I think. And I really didn't like the stick welding because I was scared of the sparks and the hot slag, which is pretty understandable. But I did like the oxyacetylene welding because it was much calmer and it felt more controllable, and it was less sporadic. But right. It pretty much stemmed from that. And, you know, my dad, after having done woodworking for so long, you know, he wanted to kind of move into metal. And so, you know, he built a big dust collector. And so I was around, you know, the building of that process, the building of that. I mean, in reality, it all just kind of grew, and I just wanted to keep exploring new things over time, you know? And then to finish out your question as to how I got to turning wrenches,
Okay, hold that thought right there just for a minute, because
I'll hold on to it.
Grab a hold. My viewers are ringing the bells and bouncing the things off the walls, and I gotta launch the cannons, and I don't know why they're not showing up as good as they used to. But Chris Hope, super chat. Rodney Bell, $20 super chat. Artco, super sticker. Hey you, thank you guys very much, making it rain up here at 400 AGL. I really do appreciate it, guys, and you know it. You know how much I appreciate it. Okay, Erica, back to you.
So, yeah, to get to how I started turning wrenches, my dad needed to replace the alternator in his truck. And to do that, pretty simple. He's got a 96 Ford Ranger. So not a terribly difficult job. Take some bolts out, undo the belt, put the belt back on, you know, not incredibly hard. And I helped him do that when I was in, I don't know, 8th grade, I think. And train of thought got derailed. I was helping him do it, and I was laying under his truck, releasing the tensioner on the drive belt with the ratchet, and, you know, at the end of that, you know, I was filthy. I was covered in grease and super dirty. And I loved it. And I was like, you know what? I want to do more work on cars, so much so that I tried to convince him to let me design and weld together a bumper for his truck.
Oh.
He wasn't very thrilled about that.
Oh.
There have been a lot of projects that kind of got snubbed out just because they were a little bit too ridiculous.
Yeah,
but
you know what? Get into those
later if you like.
I'll bet now. Well, let's save those for another show. But I'll bet now that you're kind of seasoned, we'll say. Because I've seen you run the welders, and I've seen you run the lathe, and I've seen you run the end mill. And it's like, now I'm thinking that if you say, Dad, I'm thinking he'll go, okay, but we'll hold all that for another day, because I think you'll be back. This is kind of cool. Joe Blaylock, 1999, happy Sunday. Thank you, buddy. And, you know, it's just about what I would normally do as halftime here on the channel, where I do a little bit of shameless plugging of things, like my website. Like, go over there and maybe, you know what, I can do this really quick. Like, I think it should still be in memory. Look at that. I can pull that up, and I'm going to click on this button, and then I'm going to go here and click on this button so that Erica's mic is hot again. And I'm going to talk about 400 AGL, the website, 400agl.net. If you like what you see on the channel and you like what's going on, I hope you're not okay, you're blinking. That's good. Go over here and feel free to check out the merchandise page and get yourself a hat. I think Erica's got one. She's got one of them.
I've got a hat.
And then look at here.
Mug. I don't know if your mugs are on the site. But...
The mugs are not on the site. Those are like special only things.
Oh, really?
We got nine T-shirts available right now. $27.50. I'm taking pre-orders. I got to get like 15 of them pre-ordered so that I can place the order with the screen printing company, because these are not vinyl decal or iron-on nonsense. These are actually screen printed shirts, guys and girls. So several sizes to choose from, $27.50, and that includes shipping continental U.S., Alaska, and Hawaii. So, yeah, just not across the pond. If you want it across the pond and you're over there, hey, you're going to have to pay for it. I'm sorry. You know, it's just how it is. I can't give it away to everybody. Can't show it off to everybody. But I also do a lot of videos on the channel that belong to other people. Thank you, Chris. I appreciate that. Hard Life Customs Garage, welcome to the 400 AGL channel. If you have a video that you would like showcased on this channel, feel free to email your link to your video. Include your music score information, because I use Epidemic, and a lot of people use a lot of different things. And those people that have the music stuff, they get really jacked out of shape if you use their music without their permission. So, yeah, I use Epidemic, so if yours doesn't use Epidemic, then let me know so that I can cut it out and crop it out and change it up and make it work with what I got to work with. If DJI or anybody else thinks they need to send something to the channel, something in the snail mail right there, P.O. Box 12, Holiday, Tennessee 38341. We already talked about the website, 400agl.net. Go there, get your merchandise. If anybody, anywhere, on any of these two channels is thinking about getting their remote pilot certificate, your 107 certificate for flying drones, go to 400agl.net, and right here, a link for Remote Pilot 101, right here on the front page in the navigation bar. I've got the absolute cheapest affiliate link on the internet for Remote Pilot 101. Lifetime membership is just $99. That's right, just $99 for a lifetime membership with Remote Pilot 101. Get your certificate as soon as you can finish the class and get it done. Then you can fly drones commercially and take pictures and sell them. Yeah. Let me know how that works out for you. What do you think? Okay.
All right.
Oh, man. Boy, that was a long-winded TV commercial, wasn't it? I ought to record one so that all I got to do is just play the video and let it happen. And I can sit back and...
That would be pretty good.
Go get another cup of coffee, you know, because like my coffee's empty and I need another cup of coffee.
Exactly.
So, nowadays, current time, what if we talk about some of the stuff that you do, like, let's see, that's the sporty chassis. This is talking about that one. This is talking about links. Do you want to explain what a link is to everybody?
Yeah, sure. So a link on an RC crawler is basically these guys here underneath the vehicle, and they keep the front axle in place. The lower links control, the upper links, I'll tell you what the upper links do. The upper links keep the axle from rotating forward and back, the whole axle itself. On a leaf-sprung vehicle, it would be called axle wrap. But they basically hold the front axle in place, and, you know, on this vehicle, I've got high clearance links. So what that means is these links are bent for higher clearance underneath, whereas the ones on this
connected, man, or did I crash?
Sorry about that. I have no idea what that was about.
Was that you or me?
I think it was me. vMix just decided that, I don't know, it wanted to do something weird.
Wow. Did I go away, guys? Or was it just Erica? Hopefully. I don't think.
I think it was just me.
Yeah, I think so too. I hope so.
Because it just wanted me to relog. That's it.
Yeah. I don't know what's going on over here. Just a bit of a lag. It's all right. Okay. You had a super chat come in on your channel from Christian.
I did, yeah. Christian, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Really appreciate it there.
Boom, boom. It was the whole stream. Wow. Thank you, Maddie. Just spinning on her. Well, you know what? They're better spinning on her than me, right, guys? So we're going to go back to where we were. So if you want to grab that crawler and start talking about that again, and you've got 60 seconds. Let her rip.
60 seconds. So links are basically, they attach the front axle to the chassis of the vehicle. They also attach the steering servo, which is basically the motor that turns your wheels. So this is a steering link here, and then there's another steering link tucked down here, and that's situated in a place so that if I'm, driving it, I'm not ramming my link into rocks or whatever, basically. It reduces a hang-up point. There's no one out there that makes a link for this axle, which is not even a stock axle. So I was basically, I guess probably not the first one, but I did build my own for these axles. So this link right here is indeed fully custom.
And custom is the way to go. I mean, you were surprised that I said you had 60 seconds. You know why you had 60 seconds?
Why'd I have 60 seconds?
Because I estimated that's how long it would take me to go get another cup of coffee.
Oh.
Because that's what I did. I went and got another coffee while you were talking about custom-made links. Now, I do have a video queued up that talks about that a little bit. So if I was to mute the audio, you think you could wing it through the video talking about what we got going on over here?
Yeah, I could totally do that.
Because I think that if I put that there and put that there and then hit play here, well, maybe I got to hit play here, you can show us what you're talking about, and I will come back over here and click that so that everybody can now hear you again.
So, yeah, I mean, these are my rigs. The one on the right has my carbon fiber chassis on it there. And
so
basically just
that's the one that you remade the chassis. So I'm just going to kind of skip through this a little bit at a time.
Yeah.
So these are different ends.
Those are the rod ends. Yeah, those are the rod ends. And the link screws to attach the rod ends to the metal link.
And so you cut the link to the length you want.
Yep.
And then you go to the lathe, which this is just
so this is
an
old. It's actually an old wood lathe from I think the 60s or 40s maybe. So it's super old that we kind of rebuilt, and so I used that to get a perfectly centered hole down the end of the link.
Now, you don't drill those though very deep, right? Just deep enough to put the set screws in.
Yeah, I usually drill them about 10 millimeters or 3/8 of an inch.
Right.
And so there I just center drilled it to make sure that the drill stays straight as it goes through.
Yep.
And do that for both sides, and then swap out for the drill bit, and then drill it the rest of the way.
And that way you can put your set screws in the ends to screw the rod ends onto.
Right, exactly.
So it's like the same way that I make my links, because I make my own as well. I do it differently than you because I don't have a lathe. But the length of the rod is extremely important because you don't really have a lot of adjustment room.
No, you can always make it longer by adding some shims, but you can really only do that so far. You can only really add about 3 to 4 millimeters of extra length.
Right, because the threaded set screw that's only 3/4 of an inch long doesn't give you a lot of room to work with. And not only that, it's not nearly as strong as the... Yeah.
Yeah, you want to make sure there's enough purchase on the link itself.
Now, do you typically use plastic rod ends all the time, or do you tend to use metal ones too?
So on the rig that I was just showing back here, that one has metal rod ends and the threaded set screw is machined into them.
Uh-huh.
But on this rig, I use plastic ones. It's kind of some people say it one way, some people say it the other. Some people say that, you know, going to all metal is the way to make a strong rig, but at the same time, having weak points is a good thing. So I have broken
that way you
plastic
can
rod ends on this.
You can control what breaks and where that way, right? More or less.
Right. So instead of bending my link, I think I have a bent one around here somewhere. It might be in here. No. Oh yeah, here it is. So instead of bending a link, that's not the one. Okay, not sure what it is. Anyway, instead of bending the link, you'll break the rod end, and that's a 20-cent part versus something more expensive or whatnot.
Yep, or that takes you an hour to make another one just like it because you don't want to have to make a pair of them, so you got to try and make it exactly the same. Yeah.
Exactly.
So I did comment to you on one of your videos, and I told you I was 3D printing a crawler. Remember that?
Yeah.
And
I do remember that.
You actually said, well, I know some people that have done some things that haven't worked out so well, so let me know how yours worked out. Well, mine didn't work out quite so well. But you had a 3D printed chassis for that truck that you just showed us. And
I did.
It took a tumble and landed upside down and hit pretty hard, and it actually broke that carbon fiber reinforced 3D printed PLA chassis.
Yeah. So I've got a buddy who has a printer and had the filament, so I was like,
it wasn't me, y'all. It wasn't. I didn't print this for her, I promise.
And so yeah, I was like, here's my design, and he printed it, and I had 2 sets, and both of them broke really, really fast. Something that I did learn from that is to make the frame thicker, and a lot of the other 3D printed chassis that I've seen have really thick frames to account for that, because mine was pretty thin. Mine was maybe 0.2 of an inch thick, so 200 thousandths thick.
Yeah, which is about 4 millimeters.
Yeah, like 3.5, 4 millimeters, something like that.
Yeah, see, mine, when I made my chassis for my crawler, it was like 10 millimeters square. And it was carbon fiber reinforced. Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a lot stronger then.
So you did that, and then you decided to, let's see, how did you end up with the CNC mill? Or did you guys already have that? That's something fairly newly acquired, right?
Yeah, we just got the CNC mill in the spring, I think. Got videos of the delivery and, showing that off on my channel. So if you want to see that, go check out my channel. And yeah, so we've been looking at some machine tools for a while. My dad has been interested in machining as well, on like tool room lathes and milling machines and stuff. And I think I haven't totally asked him, but I think it was too good of a deal to pass up. And I think that's kind of how we ended up with it. And then from there, he has no experience on a milling machine, manual or CNC. I didn't have any experience. Our neighbor used to be a machinist, and so he was able to give us some pointers. My grandfather used to be a machinist in the aerospace industry, actually. So I'm around people that have done it, and so I have people to ask things, but then I've taught myself pretty much everything. It's just online.
So you've looked online, YouTube, whatever, and Google and all that stuff, and basically have taught yourself how to use this CNC end mill.
Pretty much, yeah, 100%.
And that's absolutely amazing.
I've taught myself how to use Fusion 360 for the CAD design, which was really hard. It was seriously tricky to learn how to use, but I've got it down now.
Fusion 360 gives me fits. I'll tell you what. Sometimes I can make it do exactly what I want, and when I try to repeat that process for the other side to get the opposite effect, it's totally outer space. I have no idea what's going on with that. It's totally nuts. I want to take just a quick second and remind everyone that we are simulcasting 400 AGL Live to Highway 49 RC, Erica's YouTube channel. And for all of her viewers that are watching, you're actually watching the live stream from 400 AGL that happens every Sunday evening, 6 p.m. Central Time. Typically talk about drones and tech stuff, and sometimes I get things sent to me and I do a review, or I'll make something or create something. I'm an engineer, a self-taught engineer, kind of like Erica, and I like to make things and say, well, I wonder if this will work, and then go make it and see if it works or not. And sometimes it does, and sometimes it turns out like this next video I'm going to show you. But, yeah, so everybody that's coming over from Highway 49 RC, welcome. And everyone from 400 AGL that's going over to Highway 49 RC's channel and checking that out and
Welcome
subscribing.
As well. Yeah.
I appreciate y'all showing up over there. So here's the chassis. Now, I didn't do a comp crawler chassis. I did a regular leaf sprung frame truck style chassis. Okay?
A trail truck chassis.
Yep. And I used metal leaf springs. I used, or talk about what we can break. Yeah, that's right, Steve. We can talk about, we're going to talk about, in fact, I'm going to show a video of what I can break. So, hello, Ply Zone. What the hell? Squirrel. Oh, man. Yeah, so we're going to, 10 millimeter square carbon fiber reinforced PLA for the frame and the cross members. And I used carbon fiber reinforced for the spring shackles and spring hangers. I used Traxxas Stampede, 4-wheel drive Stampede differential housing to model my differential housing, because I didn't want independent suspension. I wanted a solid axle. So I used the differential housing to model my differential, my axle housing for my truck, to make it a solid axle setup, because I had to make all the metal gears from the Stampede differential fit inside of my axle housings. So that was quite a thing of beauty, and lots of time with this and going back and forth and creating. But I ended up with a pair of straight axle housings with Stampede metal differentials in them. I used the Stampede axles, and then I made the caster blocks and steering blocks, and all 3D printed, and put this thing together, and I used a drill motor initially, a 12 volt drill motor for the power plant, because it was already geared really, really low. And then I put that on a transmission, and then ran that to the two differentials. So you can imagine how low geared it was. I mean,
yeah.
It was incredibly slow. So I changed the motor and put a regular spur and pinion gear on it, and this is what I came up with. And I need to get rid of that audio really quick, because I don't need all that noise. So right here you can see the flex in the frame and the suspension, and everything was doing exactly what it was supposed to do. Now, I didn't have enough weight on the truck, so it was pretty bouncy. Okay? Didn't stay on the ground very well. But it was definitely the horsepower was there and the torque was there. And the suspension and frame were flexing and doing what they're supposed to be doing. So right there you can see the differential. You can see the spindles and everything and all the steering and how it all worked, right? So I get to the end and I drive it around back to me, and it gets back to me on flat ground, and here's what happens. Now this is long after it was just trying to twist itself apart on the hill, right? So I twisted the yoke mount right completely out of it. So that was the end of 3D printed Frankentruck. Now I have a TRX4 Sport that has become Frankentruck because first thing I did was change the motor to an 80-turn motor. The next thing I did was put these tires and wheels on that truck, so they're quite a bit bigger than the stock ones. So, yeah. So, after you did all that, and you broke the chassis, and you decided that it was time to make a chassis, so you went to work on the mill.
Yeah.
Well,
I'd like to stop you there, and thank you, Rodney Bell, so much for the super chat. I really appreciate it.
Oh, Rodney, making it rain over on Highway 49 RC. Buddy, you rock. Dude, you are so cool. Rodney Bell.
There you go.
I need to just, yeah. Thank you, brother. So you went to work in the CAD program again, and you did a little bit of tweaking and made some changes, and then you got yourself some aluminum plate and some bits, and you decided to go to work. And so you made a frame.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the frame on that truck actually that you were just showing a couple minutes ago, right?
Yeah.
So
this one just behind me.
So here's what we're going to do right now. We're going to show that truck actually in action. So this is the comp crawler, right?
Yep. And this was at my local hobby shop. They've got a cool indoor crawler course that I go to sometimes after work.
Yeah, we need to do that.
Yeah, got to test
and
out the chassis.
I see a servo back there, so this is four-wheel steering as well.
Correct. Yeah, I'm not sure if I use it in this video or not. I don't remember, but I do use it sometimes.
Let me get that. I should have made that bigger like this. So the half tennis ball is the marker that you got to kind of follow for the trail, right? That they made.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So basically, those are called gates, and your goal is to get through them without touching them. And when you go through them, it's called progress, and hitting them, you get added points. So it's like, I think it's like golf, where the lowest score wins.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
All right.
Oh, we're back.
Yes.
It all crashed again.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that's about.
I'm not sure either. That's strange because I've got fiber optic internet here with 380 megabits per second up and down, so there should be no issue. So it's got to be BlueTube doing it to us. It's got to be. I'm going to blame it on YouTube.
Yeah,
so,
I would as well.
Rodney, thank you very much for stopping in. I really do appreciate it. And
yeah, thank you so much.
We both appreciate you, man. I promise you. And you're getting some more subscribers over there too, I've noticed. So
yeah, it seems like it.
That's a good thing. We're all in the RC world together. So party in your room with a tiny whoop. There you go. So just as everything went down the drain, I was asking is this a standard style competition course with just big rocks, or do they have, like I see a bridge, is that made of wood in the background there? Is that?
Yeah.
So it's just all kinds of different things?
Yeah, it depends on the classes. So you have class 1, class 2, class 3, and unlimited. Class 1 is your tiny tire rigs, like this truck behind me. Super scale, hard body, small tires. Class 2 is considered usually just 1.9s or small 2.2s. And that would be like this truck here, more trail worthy. And then class 3 is your comp crawlers. So, your sporties, your vehicles with drive shafts mainly is your class 3, or heavily modified wraiths or belly draggers or anything of that nature. And then you have unlimited or super class. It kind of depends on the group you're with, what they call it, but super class includes MOA, which stands for motor on axle, and I actually have an MOA build that I'm going to be starting hopefully soon. I'm still trying to get some parts together and save up a little bit for that, but I've actually got the axles sitting up here behind me. So these are MOA axles. These are from Deluxe Fab, and the motor actually bolts right here to the axle itself.
Oh, wow.
And so
let's get a little bit closer look at that. So show that to us now. So
the motor bolts up right here, and not only does it help get more weight forward on the vehicle, or it also helps keep the weight low, because if you think about it, the axle is one of the lowest parts of the vehicle that you can mount weight to without having rotating mass, which you really don't want to have rotating mass on crawlers, which would be mounting weights inside the wheel or on the wheel. A lot of people do that to add weight, but a very common and good way to do that is mounting weight to the axles.
Right.
And that helps keep your weight low.
Below the center of gravity is the ideal place, keeps you from rolling over so easy.
Right. And so this rig that I'm going to be building with these axles is pretty much going to be able to climb almost vertical, I hope.
Yeah.
So that's going to be getting a custom chassis, custom CNC wheels, custom links.
Is that four-wheel drive? Is that going to be four-wheel drive? So it'll be twin engine. Yeah,
so it'll be 2 motors, 2 ESCs. I got the ESCs sitting up right here behind me as well.
And you just Y cable those off the receiver so they send the same signal at the same time, as long as they're tuned together and not a problem.
Actually, what you do, I'm going to have to get a better radio for it, but you can channel mix the receivers or the ESCs together so that you can lock up the front and just drive the rear, or lock up the rear and just drive the front.
Depending on the radio you have, yeah. If you've got...
Yeah, so I gotta get the right kind of radio for that.
You're going to need, for everything, you can put lights and all that stuff on it too that you turn on and off from the transmitter, so you're going to need a 6 or 8 channel radio for that rig when it's all said and done.
I'm not actually going to do any lights on it, because normally your sporties or your comp crawlers, your MOAs, they don't usually have lights on them.
Oh, okay. Brad Alston, $5 super chat to Highway 49 RC. Thank you very much, buddy. I appreciate that.
Thanks so much, Brad.
And new subscriber too, so he's going to be watching out for your stuff. And Mr. J, you're going to have to start breaking out some of your RC cars, man. A lot of guys are going to the FPV thing on their drone channels. I'm choosing to stay on the ground. I think that's going to make a difference in the future with the FAA rules and regulations. I'm hoping it doesn't matter, but just in case, I'm taking my channel the low road because y'all are going the high road, and I hope y'all get to keep that road. But that being said, so that's going to be a custom build with twin motors, twin ESCs. That's going to be a monster of a build. And you're going to make a custom frame for it, and you're going to make all new wheels for it.
Correct.
Now, the comp crawler, the chassis that's behind you, there's other chassis out there that kind of look like that.
Yeah.
Similar. similar design, but is there anything exactly like that one, or is that completely solely out of your brain?
So it's based off of a hot racing chassis that I got years and years ago, but it's been modified, and I use the hot racing chassis as something to go off of, kind of like you did with your Traxxas internals and stuff for your Franken truck. I basically just used it as something to go off of and just to kind of get some general measurements off of. But then it's fully custom, so there's no other chassis out there like that.
Okay. Cool. Damn, Brad, we got to get together, man. So if you modified that a little bit more, it would totally be your design then at that point.
It is my design completely at this point right now.
It is. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, have you tagged it with your channel name, your logo and all that? Have you tagged it? Is it engraved in there? Highway 49
No,
RC?
it's not.
No? Well, see, now you need to do that.
Yeah.
I'm making stuff, MKRC. Okay, so I'm making stuff like that. In fact, what a great segue to talk about stuff that I'm making real quick.
Go for it.
I'm going to cheat and talk about dual wheels, trailer wheels. So what do you think of that nonsense? That's two separate rims and tires on bearings on a dummy axle right now so that I could hold it up and show it to the camera. But I haven't decided if I'm going to actually run duals on the trailers or not, but now I know I can if I want to. So these are store-bought tires, and they're foams. They got foam on the inside of them. But the rim is 100% my design. I created that in the CAD program and then burned it out on the 3D printer.
Are they beadlock?
Are they what?
Beadlock, or are they glue-on?
They would be glue-on if they were glued.
Okay.
They're not glued yet. I haven't
Gotcha.
glued them because I'm not sure they're going to stay on these rims. They probably will, but for a boat trailer, they don't even need to be glued. These fit tight enough that you can't spin the tire on the rim by hand.
That's good then.
So that for a trailer, they'll be perfect. Hot Rod Daytona, hello, thank you. Fly Zone, no, she does not fly drones. She is a terrestrial kind of gal. She stays on the ground. She's level-headed and keeps both feet firmly planted. So, other than that build that you're going to do, that you've got the axles up on the shelf behind you, do you have any, hello Captain Ray, do you have any other builds that you want to do?
So I do have two, one of which, so I'll talk about one, which I've kind of talked a little bit about already on my channel. I want to build a belly dragger using axial wraith axles.
Now, what's a belly dragger? Because my guys don't know, my people don't know what that is.
Okay, so a belly dragger is,
I mean,
I'm gonna
these are guys that come up with some of the craziest comments in the chat. So you say belly dragger, I can imagine what they're thinking. All right, so we got
okay,
keep
so
them
belly
straight.
dragger basically means that the belly of the vehicle, so like the center skid plate, is super low to the ground. So that means it's got a really low center of gravity.
But it also has
does
no
compromise.
clearance.
Right, so that is a compromise, and it's really built, belly draggers are built for rock slabs and primarily climbing. They aren't very good trail trucks, which is what this one is. This one's pretty high clearance, has a lot of suspension travel, and it's just better for when you're out hiking, going over roots, rocks, water, all that stuff. Belly draggers, They're low. They're designed for the rock slabs that we have out here in California. I don't know if you guys have rock slabs out there much, but we have a lot of granite, and so we have a lot of large slabs, and that's where those really excel and why they're so popular out here. So I want to build one of those off of axial wraith axles. I'm going to do some really crazy stuff with the transmission that I've actually never seen anybody do yet. It's going to have a transmission, separate transfer case. It's going to be, I think I can pull it off. My dad was messing around with his truck, and I was kind of playing with the parts that he had as he was building, and I was like, you know what? I might be able to pull this off. So that's going to come after the MOA, so probably not till sometime next year. Then I've got another project that I've been planning on wanting to do for about probably a year now, that I have not even talked about anywhere, that I'll take this chance to announce to my viewers. I'm going to be water cooling my Traxxas Slash. So I'm going to build a custom water cooling system for my Traxxas Slash. I have the cooling radiators and the hose and the pump all up on my shelf behind me.
Aardvark, $5 super chat. Highway 49 RC.
Thank you so much.
Oh, there's a $9.99 from Steve Carpenter.
Well. Thank you so much.
All right, rocking it.
So yeah, that's a project that I'm working on. The radiators that I'm using are actually, I'll grab one down real quick here.
Hello, Dan. Drone worship.
These are actually radiators that allow coolant to flow through them.
Okay.
Or that allow fluid to flow through them. These are actually made by a company called RC Lesu out of, I don't have a clue, so somewhere in Asia. They make 1/14 scale construction equipment. And what these are originally intended for is cooling hydraulic fluid. Like actual hydraulic fluid for 1/14 scale hydraulic rams.
Yep.
And I saw these on RC Sparks' YouTube channel, and I, kind of cataloged that cool part in my head.
That dude builds some of the craziest stuff, man, He does. Have you seen the Toy Boda? Yeah, I've seen everything he's got.
Yeah, it's crazy. So anyway, that water cooling my Slash is a project that was supposed to happen this past summer, but one of the parts is actually stuck in the mail right now in customs. So I haven't been able to start it just yet. Yeah, I know. I'm really bummed out because it was supposed to be a summer project, because the whole problem that I'm trying to solve with it is that my Slash overheats. And, I'm completely ignoring the fact that I have a chassis cover on it, which are notorious for causing overheating.
Sure, absolutely.
But we're going to completely ignore that, because that's
closing in all that air. Steve Carpenter, thank you very much. $9.99, $10 super chat, 400 AGL. So, I was going to ask you about that. The body cover. I mean, doesn't that trap? I mean, I get it. It keeps moisture and dirt out. I get it. But it keeps heat in. And we all know, especially in the drone world and the FPV quads and the hot motors and hot ESCs, and heat kills electronics. I mean, heat just kills electronics.
It really does.
So,
especially out here in the California heat, we've got, 110-degree days. It's rough.
No doubt, especially because you're inland a little bit. Makes it even worse. So,
yeah.
The radiator basically is intended to be standalone, but how are you going to attach it to the motor? You going to use like a heat sink from the motor, a motor heat sink, and put the two together?
So I have a water jacket in the mail right now. That's what's stuck, and what that is basically is it's a 2-layer sleeve that fits around the motor.
Right.
The motor goes in here, and then the outer part, and then the water flows in between.
Right.
And so then I'm going to have, rubber tubing running from a pump to the jacket.
Is it a metal water jacket or a
yeah.
Plastic?
Yeah, it's aluminum.
Aluminum, yeah. Okay. Because I've got a rubber one, it's like rubber or something.
Okay.
I thought.
Then I'm also going to have
I've never used it because I thought, how is that going to transfer heat, bro? It's made of rubber. That doesn't make any sense.
That doesn't make much sense.
But it was a freebie. It was a gift. So what do you say? Thank you.
Yeah. And I'm also gonna have a cooling plate that's gonna sit on top of my ESC. So I'm actually gonna take the heatsink, or I'm gonna take and clamp the ESC in the milling machine, mill the fins off of the heatsink, and use, I think my dad called it a TIFF, thermal. I don't remember what it was called. Basically what you put on your computer CPU to transfer heat from the CPU to the cooler.
Right.
I'm gonna put that on top of the.
It's a thermal conducting gel.
Thermal compound.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna put that on top of the ESC and then slap the cooling plate on top of that, and then run water through that as well. And then as a reservoir, I'm using a nitro tank.
Okay.
To add a little bit of a buffer in there, and to add more more thermal mass to the cooling system itself. Sure. Which is important.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, you need a reservoir to store the fluid. Presuming that the fluid will get cool enough going through the heat sinks, because if it stays hot, then your reservoir gets hot and you're just putting hot coolant back over your motor. It's not doing you any good.
Right.
So
in theory, it should help. Well, there's also fans on the radiators.
Sure.
So there will be some active airflow.
There will be active airflow, so it will make some cooling, but it's going to be very interesting to see the temperature differential between going into the motor and coming out of the motor, because in theory, the coolant coming off the motor should be cooler than the coolant going in.
Off the radiator, you mean?
Off the radiator, yeah. It ought to be hotter, because it ought to be picking up heat and carrying it away, right? From the motor? So it ought to be from the motor to the radiator, it should be hot, so the radiator should come cooler out of the radiator. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see that. It's going to be interesting to see that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now,
so that's now
what are you going to use to circulate the coolant?
I've got a little pump that I got off Amazon for like $15. We'll see if it works.
I bought one for my boat off of Amazon, and it uses like 1/4-inch fuel line tubing or something like that would work. The neoprene fuel tubing, hot fuel tubing for airplanes or whatever, from like the gas tanks, the nitro fuel.
Yeah.
I stuck one end, the pickup end, in a bowl of water that was, the bowl was 12, 14 inches across and 10 inches deep, full of water. And I aimed the other side at the sink, and I powered the pump, and in about 10 seconds, the bowl of water was empty.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Dang.
This is the pump that I got is the one that they use on RC boats for the fire boats that'll pump like 3 or 4 jets of water at once.
Oh yeah.
That's what this pump is supposed to do. So, yeah, this pump's amazing. My intention was for my Chris-Craft, for my cabin cruiser, to use it as cooling. I thought I had it sitting right here. Apparently I don't, but I made my own. I took some copper tubing and I wrapped it around a 540 motor case, and that's that's going to be my coolant. Everything's going to be. It's just going to, and my instead of having cooling pins, counting on those as a heat sink, my cooling plan is more volume faster. So it's going to be just direct copper tubing wrapped around the motor.
Okay. And then are you picking up water from, the lake or whatever?
Yep. It'll come up through a hole fitting in the boat, and it'll be pumped out through a hole fitting in the boat, and yeah.
See, now that should work pretty good, because you'll always be picking up, cold water. Because
Exactly.
mine's a closed system, so that's going to probably pose its own challenges.
And it may, but if your radiator does a good job and you have good cooling there, it should keep your reservoir temperature is going to go up from ambient, but
Right.
it should be less than the motor temperature.
Yeah.
That would be the theory anyway. One vision, like to see the build for your water cooled slash. Yeah, that's going to be something that probably takes place next summer. It won't be ready to debut till then, right? It's going to take you that long to build it, right?
Well, no, I'm just going to wait till next summer because water cooling in summer, I don't know, it just makes sense. Because, like, I want to...
Okay.
There we go, we're back.
Wow. See, I'm showing an excellent connection, but right before that it said, receiving no data. If we don't get data pretty soon, if you don't restart your streaming software, we're going to just shut down your live stream. I'm like, well, wait a minute, dipshit. My software never quit. It was your live stream that quit, YouTube. Get it?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm hooked up to wired connection, so I should be as well.
Yeah, me too. I mean, I got Ethernet big as my arm here. So anyway, yeah, and now the chat looks like it's buffering unless it's going to re-go. Are we going? Oh,
yep,
we're back.
Right, like
okay, now it says we're back. Okay. Hopefully yours is back too. Making me nuts. So, we'll talk more off air, and we'll get some more things worked out, and maybe we can throw some ideas around each other's projects, and you never know. We might come up with a project together.
Yeah, never know.
Where I was going, a friend of mine wants a chassis because he wants to build. Mm-hmm. He's got axles and everything, so he's got like the monster axles out of, say, the Horizon Gravedigger. Mm-hmm. He's got Lloyd Mendenhall, Grumpy Blogger.
Thank you so much.
$4.99 on Highway 49 RC. Way to go! But the data says it's not. What the hell? This is making me nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
we'll have to work this out off air for sure.
Yeah, and I don't think this is us. I think this is YouTube. It's got to be.
There's no other solution, really.
Yeah, because my output is not stopping. I mean, my computer's not shutting down. My video isn't quitting. By the way, I totally tore my machine apart this morning and, like, went through it all and put it all back together, and just in case it's a power supply issue to my video card, I used a different power lead to my video card. So maybe that'll work. No, Lon, you didn't miss the end. You're still here. But, so chat seems to have resumed in mine, but not yours, unless they're just not chatting over there. I don't know. I'm going to throw something out there.
I don't know. They can be kind of quiet. Hey, guys, say something. Come on.
Let me know if you see that pop up on your end. So, I don't know. I was going to ask you something. I was talking about something. I was on a rip, and then everything started swirling, and I was like, well, now what?
Yeah, let's see.
YouTube's been acting stupid all day, he says. Yeah, well, it's doing real good right now. Really starting to frost my tan here, tan my hide or something. So, normally run the show about an hour. Been going on an hour and a half now, coming up on it. So I'm going to knock it out. I'm going to say we're done. Abandoned ship. Yeah, that's right. SM Aggies.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Way to go. $5 super chat. I know it, Lloyd. You don't need to remind me. We will talk some more, obviously. Maybe we'll get, that's what I was going to say. Maybe we'll get some sort of a collaboration going. And the reason I was asking about that chassis is because Brandon wants to get a chassis that he can build instead of buy. So you and him need to get hooked up. And I know you're on Skype. Do I have you on Facebook?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. We need to get connected up on Facebook, and then I can get you connected up with Brandon, because he may be interested in getting you to make him a chassis.
All right. Yeah, I'll have to think about that for sure. But yeah, maybe.
$4.99. Thank you, Lloyd. I appreciate it. My cannons aren't working right. I don't know. You can't hardly see them. You can hear them, but you can't see them. I don't know what's going on with that. But yeah, I'll get you and Brandon hooked up if we get joined up on Facebook, so that, because he's on Facebook, so I know that that'll work. I know that'll make it work out. And maybe he'll have you cut him a chassis.
All right.
Yeah, and some cross tubes, because he'll no doubt will need cross tubes, right?
Yeah.
And I don't have a drill press, so I can't like lock them in a vise and drill them or end drill them, because I don't have a lathe. I can't end drill stuff and get it perfectly straight like you can. See, I would come kidnap you, but your toys are all too big to carry. So, you know.
That's an issue.
Yeah, you got some really big toys.
You need a forklift for a couple of them.
Yeah. at least.
I mean, the mill weighs 6,000 pounds, I think.
Yeah. I was gonna say, need a forklift and a big one at that. But anyway.
Yeah.
Erica, we're gonna go ahead and drop it out here at an hour and a half. And
alrighty.
I think we had a good visit. I think it was a good show. And
absolutely.
now everybody kind of knows that I've been kind of leaning toward the RC car truck stuff. But now all of my people know that I'm even getting more serious about it, because I mean, obviously, look at the stuff you've got. How many trucks and crawlers do you have? Trail trucks and crawlers overall?
So
rough number.
Trail trucks and crawlers, or RCs in general?
Well, I know you got the drift car stuff, so that's another story.
Yeah. Okay.
So trail and crawler. Trail and
crawler, I have 3. So my SCX10, my Sporty, and my Galanda.
Now the SCX10, is that a 1 or a 2?
It's an SCX10 1.
Okay. So it's the original. It's like the real deal.
It's the original. I broke an axle housing at the crawler.
I saw that.
I had
and
to.
So that. Oh my God, we're gonna go another hour.
We totally did.
So why was that? Why was this like farewell to the crawl? What was up with that? Is it?
I don't actually know.
Are they not doing it anymore?
I don't. Yeah, I guess they're not doing it anymore. It's one family that puts on an event for close to 1,000 people, and that's a lot of work. And I think they've been doing it for 9 years. So I think that it's just kind of run its course, and they're over it now.
Oh wow. Okay.
So I think that's why there's been no confirmation to that. So I really don't know, but that's my guess, is that it's just gotten too big.
Right.
For them to handle.
And it is big. I mean, there was a lot of people there.
Yeah, there's a ton of people there every year.
And where was that held? Because you had to get up like really early to drive there, and then it was really super cold.
Yeah, it was.
And I'm sorry, unless you're above 10,000 feet in California, it's never super cold in California anywhere. So, like.
So it was about 2 hours east of me, so up near
Okay.
Lake Tahoe.
Okay, so up in the
and
hills then.
It does get cold up there.
Yeah, well,
it does
that's
get
what I
cold
was
up
saying.
there.
If they're in 10,000
it snows
feet.
up there every
Yeah.
year.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, that spot is is about, I'm not exactly sure. I think it's around 6,000 feet.
Wow.
5 or 6, I think.
Okay.
But there's some other places that I've been up there that are around 8,000-9,000 feet to crawl.
Yeah. Okay.
But those are like more of a hike up the way.
Sure. Okay, so everybody from 400 AGL met a really cool person tonight. Everybody from Highway 49 RC met a crazy grumpy old man and a bunch of old people that fly drones. We're not going to try to get you guys to fly drones. But it's okay if you guys try to get us to run trail trucks and crawlers. We don't mind.
Alrighty.
We'll do another show with the drift stuff because drift cars are fun. But, by the way, I do repairs. I do RC car repairs at the hobby store. And people buy things and they crash them and break them, and then they bring them in and say, I broke this. And I say, well, I can fix that for you, and I got the parts here. And so it kind of helps being a Traxxas dealer and having all the parts and everything.
Yeah.
I shot some video the other day. I think I got it on my PC somewhere. I want to say it was a TRX4 Defender, is that it?
Yeah.
Yeah, the big one, the big hard body truck or semi hard body.
Yeah.
Looks like
it's
a
the Defender.
Yeah. Our lobby is floor tiles. So yeah, diffs, lock, second gear. You ever seen a TRX4 drift truck?
Sounds about right.
Yeah, got it put back together, got it fixed, had changed the ESC and stuff in it, and got it all running and everything. And yeah, it was. I had a ball testing it out. Yeah, it was a drift car for a few minutes. Its drift life was short-lived, but it was fun. Erica, thank you so very much for being part of the show tonight. And
yeah, thank you so much for having me. I had a great time.
We'll absolutely have to have you back another time.
For sure. I'd be honored. I'd love to.
We'll have some more stuff to show and tell, and we'll have some more stuff to talk about. Everybody over at Highway 49 RC, if you liked the simulcast, leave a comment down below in Erica's channel there, in that channel that you're watching, and let her know. Just say, hey, this was pretty cool, or who's this old guy?
Then,
what the hell's the matter with you? Get back to your regular thing here,
And then we know if you like it, and we can do more.
That's right. You never know. We might do more, we might do less, or hopefully it just turns into a big fun project, and who knows where it'll land us. But for now, we're going to say goodnight. Erica, thank you very much. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
And
have a good night, everybody.
We'll see you. We'll see you in a little bit here. I'll be back in just a couple shakes. Okay, everybody, that's going to take care of the show for tonight. Erica from Highway 49 RC. Amazing person. Just, if you go watch some of her videos and watch her run the CNC mill and the lathe, and then she goes outside and crawls under a Jeep Cherokee sitting up on jack stands and mounts a transfer case and transmission cross members, and I mean, I don't know if there's anything this kid don't do. She's amazing. But anyway, I appreciate y'all, each and every one of you, and you know that. You could have been anywhere. You chose to be here, and I truly do appreciate it. Thank you for all the super chats this evening. Very much appreciated. And with that, we're going to fade off into the sunset.